This is MRN Out Loud on MRN.com, presented by Bloomin' Mondays at Outback Steakhouse. And also brought to you by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
MRN Out Loud, presented by Outback Steakhouse, a Rainout in Michigan edition. I'm Woody Kane. Tyler Burnett joining me on the program from Rip the Fence. Joey Meyer on special assignment. So we've got a big show for you today. We're going to be talking with Jeff Striegel from Michigan as they get set to race on a Monday at 5 Eastern time. Greg Biffle is going to join us a little bit later on after his dramatic win at Texas in the trucks and find out, is he going to run in Iowa? Is he going to run in Gateway? Is he going to be eligible for the big money if he does? A lot of questions to be answered there.
Yeah, it's unique with the situation we have here. 49 years of age, Greg Biffle wins. He won when I was 9 in the Truck Series the last time, and that was in 2001.
Oh, my goodness.
If that tells you anything. How old were you, Woody?
It tells you you're very young. That's what it tells you. So we got a big show coming up for you today. A lot of unknowns as we head into Michigan. A lot of the guys came in. One that jumped out at me was Alex Bowman in particular, saying he thinks it's going to be a lot like Kansas, and that may have been one of the best races we've seen this year so far. Other guys are saying we don't know what we're going to see. Speeds were down on the straightaways, but way up in the turns.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I personally am one of those guys who am okay with a 5 o'clock push here because I like soccer, first off.
Okay,
and
really?
Also, the NBA Finals will come right after, so it's a big day of sports if you want to look at it that way. And plus, we get to watch some racing on a Monday. It's always fun.
Yes, we do. Absolutely, we do. It's going to be a big day for Michigan. We've got a whole lot coming forward on this edition of MRN Out Loud. We'll talk to Greg Biffle next.
Here's your chance to win a set of your very own Hercules tires. Go to HerculesTires.com/MRN. Simply register, and each month we'll give away one set of tires. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading mileage coverage to get you wherever you need to go, no matter where the road takes you. Register now for your chance to win a set of Hercules tires at HerculesTires.com/MRN. Hercules Tires. Ride on our street.
Get your tickets for the Ultimate NASCAR Summer Festival June 27th through June 30th. Racing, music, and a carnival for the whole family. All at Chicagoland Speedway. And this year, we're kicking off the first annual Barbecue Smokedown with tastings, demos, and barbecue competitions. Get tickets to the Camping World NASCAR Weekend at ChicagolandSpeedway.com.
G'day, America. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. That's right, Outback Delivery is here. Now you can enjoy all your Outback favourites anywhere. Our signature centre-cut sirloin at home.
It's here.
Or game day party platters with kookaburra wings that'll have both teams cheering.
It's here.
Or steak and lobster for a date night at home.
It's here.
Head over to Outback.com and place your orders because Outback Delivery is here. Outback Steakhouse. Aussie rules. Delivery availability varies. Delivery charge may apply.
MRN Out Loud, presented by Outback Steakhouse, as we continue to observe what's going to happen at Michigan International Speedway following the rainout. Let's back up a little bit before we do that, though, and talk about Friday night's truck race at Texas Motor Speedway. Greg Biffle climbs back into the truck, the 2000 Series champ for Kyle Busch Motorsports, and gets his first victory in 6,434 days. He joins us now on the guest line. Greg, congratulations, man. Have you come down off that high yet?
I don't think so. I just got done with a team meeting over at KBM, and I'll tell you, I'm still basking in the glory. It was a picture perfect race for us, and so great to be back behind the wheel.
Yeah, congrats. It was definitely one of those picture perfect races. We've seen you do it so many times over the years. Your patience was incredible, running solidly in the top 5 throughout the race. Kept getting the truck better throughout the race. I think as a team owner, that's what someone sees in a veteran driver like you, is that you can be there, get your truck better throughout the day while giving Rudy information and eventually winning the race.
Yeah, we worked really hard on it. It was great working with Rudy. He's such a sharp guy. Kyle's very, very lucky to have somebody like that in his organization, leading all those teams. But it did. It took me a while to get used to these trucks. I had to understand, the different aero package and the way they draft down the straightaway. I severely underestimated how fast they pull up on another truck. I got the lead, middle part of that race from Infinger, and then 4 laps, 6 laps later, I think Friesen or somebody drafted by me. So it caught me by surprise, and it also, that was kind of a turning point for me. That was a lesson that I used later in the event to actually win the race. So I learned a lot throughout the night, and took my time, and didn't put my truck in a position where I took a chance. And I did end up 4 wide off of turn 2, which I didn't know was possible at Texas, and kind of ended up a little bit of a pinball there, but not didn't get any body damage, so to speak. So there were some close calls, I will admit that, but it turned out well for us.
Yeah, you couldn't help but have some close calls. We're chatting with Greg Biffle, who won the truck race Friday night at Texas Motor Speedway in the 51 Tundra for Kyle Busch Motorsports. 13 cautions in this race. That's not only a record for a truck race at Texas, but on all the 1.5 miles in the Truck Series. What do you think it was that made this race so crazy?
Hey, I think it was. I think part of it was the lack of that. Maybe the PJ1 down on the racetrack. It made the track a little narrower of a groove in 1 and 2 than what the guys were used to last in the spring. And so what was happening, what I saw from my point of view, was guys were close together coming across that turn 1 and 2, and somebody would get loose and need more real estate than what was available. And I saw that happen a few times in front of me. So I used that as knowledge to not put myself in that position, until it mattered. So I ended up checking up in the throttle a few times, letting guys go when I got, tight side by side, and just because I didn't know the characteristics of these trucks yet. But mine acted very well when I was side by side and had to race a couple guys. And I think that was a contributing factor to all those cautions, is a little bit narrower track, less rubber on it because the Cup and Xfinity aren't there. I think those were factors.
Yeah, we just had race a few months earlier at Texas, and we used the traction control at Texas. We didn't this time because IndyCar was there, and they did not want the extra traction control on the racetrack. That was the reason why it was a bit more narrow. Greg, did you miss the preparation of getting ready for race day? I mean, was it one of those things that I guess there's not as many cameras because it's not the Cup Series, but, going through the media through the week and then getting there to race day, getting prepared mentally to race, did you miss all that? Is that stuff addicting to you?
Yeah, I mean, I did miss some of that. It was definitely different, and what I was used to compared to the amount of attention, media, and fans and things to do prior to the event, were considerably less than what I'm used to in the Cup Series. So some of that was, was almost like all new for me, even though I've done it for a long time. I've been out of the seat for almost 3 years, and not in that role. So it was quite a bit different.
17th career truck win at Texas on Friday night. And you mentioned you were at a competition meeting earlier at Kyle Busch Motorsports. Can we read anything to that? Is there a future for you? There's been a lot of back and forth about can he or can he not run at Iowa for the big money, and Gateway still coming up for the bonus money. What's the latest that you can tell us?
Well, certainly this meeting was just a post race competition meeting that they typically have. So nothing to do with any more races or what's going on for the future, other than I've read the ruling by NASCAR that I'm not eligible for the Triple Truck Challenge which is, I get it. Rules are rules, and rules are made for a reason. I look at it, they've given waivers for several different situations, and I certainly wouldn't expect any favoritism if it affected the competition or influenced them somehow, or I got to do something they didn't get to do, which this particular situation has nothing to do with that. I can still go to Iowa and race. I'm simply not eligible for the big prize, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I think by allowing me, potentially considering a waiver to allow me to run for that, I think would be in their best interest because it doesn't affect the other competitors. So the other thing that is unfortunate in this particular situation is that the Triple Truck Challenge, so to speak, is over because no one is eligible.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think of that. Yep, you're right.
The three. So it's just one of those situations that nobody thought of. Of course, if we would have thought of this, then potentially we would have put a place marker that I could run Iowa, and then this wouldn't be a topic, and I may be going to Iowa to race. But that determination hasn't been made, to my knowledge. But at this particular time, as it stands, that I won't be racing, and unfortunately won't be racing on Iowa.
Yeah, and Kyle Busch had some comments saying basically we would have to flip a truck if we wanted to run a fifth one
in a day.
Yeah, because they would have to leave by Tuesday, which is by tomorrow. So it's tough. But could you still race for the $50,000? Not at Iowa, but at Gateway? Could you still run a Gateway?
I could run a Gateway because we could enter in time for Gateway. And Gateway, I'd be running for $150,000 because it would be two of the three. So I would be eligible for winning two of the three, so to speak.
And that's something Kyle Busch can't turn down, I don't think.
That's a big
I don't
thing.
know how the money situation works out, because I know for you, it's one of those deals where you probably just want to keep your face out there, be seen, if you will. That's what race car drivers always look for, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. And I think it's less about the money and more about the prestige and the promotion. It's like the Triple Crown. When we talk about, horse racing or the going for the Triple Crown, we don't really talk about the money. We talk about the pulling off the Triple Crown. And I think in this situation, that's what it's more about. It's more about the prestige of being able to run for the Triple Truck Challenge that Marcus Lemonis has put out there for all of these teams in this series. And I think he's a great businessman and is doing a tremendous thing for the Gander Outdoors Series. I'm certainly a big fan, but I think it's more about that than the money when we talk about it.
Yeah, I do too. But just to clarify, Greg, and I don't know if you know the exact details, but correct me if I'm wrong, the entry that is the issue, the entry deadline, has to do with specifically the driver, not the truck. Like they couldn't substitute you for another driver in a truck that's already entered. That wouldn't work, correct?
That's a great question, and I don't know the answer to that. I would have to find out, but my guess would be that you would be able to substitute the driver in a particular truck because, what if somebody fell ill or something else? The truck is already place marker registered. Now, I don't know if it's the challenge is the driver, the team, or the truck, either. So it depends on what the Triple Truck Challenge says. Is it a driver? If it's a driver, yeah, I wasn't entered. But do I get my place marked because I'm taking over a truck that was entered because the driver, is not going to compete now? I don't know that answer.
Yeah, nor do I.
I think NASCAR did clarify in one of our meetings this past week that it was the driver that wins it, but the team does get the money.
Right, but as far as the entry goes, that's what I was concerning.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, Greg, I wanted to ask you something else. You mentioned that it doesn't look all that promising for Iowa, but you had something else already planned this weekend. You were showing us some pictures of a car you were planning to run this coming weekend in the Northwest, right?
Yeah, that race is a few weeks out.
Oh, okay.
Still, that race is in July, but I was planning on going. Ironically enough, I'm planning on going to St. Anthony, Idaho, with Kyle Busch and Brian Scott and some other folks. We're going to the desert for the weekend, the off weekend. So I already had plans, but certainly I don't have a problem changing those if the opportunity arises.
Yeah, well, we sure would like to see it get worked out, because it's just such a great story for the Truck Series. It had a lot of interest and a lot of attention from a lot of people, and man, it was just cool to see you head back to victory lane, the 2000 Series champion. Congratulations, Greg, and we really appreciate your time.
Well, thank you for having me, and hopefully we'll be talking again soon, and hopefully it's about another win or another race.
Yeah, there you go. Let's hope so. Thanks, man. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
There you go, Greg Biffle, 2000 Series winner. How remarkable is that? The guy hadn't been in a NASCAR race for almost 3 years, and he hadn't been in a truck race for, 14, 15 years, and comes back and wins his first time out of the gate. There's just so much emotion and attention for that in the series. It would be a shame if this can't be worked out.
I agree. He's spot on. It doesn't matter for money. It's about promotion.
Right.
And it would help out, Gander Outdoor. It would help out NASCAR. How cool is it to see Biffle, who was chauffeuring around his friend in a wedding the other day.
He went and bought his own limo to do it, yeah.
I wanted to ask him,
and the suit and the whole thing.
I wanted to ask him how much it cost in case my wife, or
don't give her
wants
any
to get
ideas.
chauffeured around town or whatever. Maybe he'll give us a lower price just because we had him on the show. But
he might. I don't think he got rid of the limo. I think he's still got it. We got to take a time out here on MRN Out Loud. When we come back, Motor Racing Network anchor Jeff Striegel joins us as they get set to race the Cup Series in Michigan.
G'day, America. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. That's right, Outback Delivery is here. Now you can enjoy all your Outback favourites anywhere. Our signature centre cut sirloin at home.
It's here.
Or game day party platters with Kookaburra wings that'll have both teams cheering.
It's here.
Or steak and lobster for a date night at home.
It's here.
Head over to Outback.com and place your orders, because Outback Delivery is here. Outback Steakhouse. Aussie rules. Delivery availability varies. Delivery charge may apply.
For more than 80 years, Detroit Diesel has been a legendary driving force powering many of the best-known trucks on the road. Through our state-of-the-art Detroit technologies in components and safety systems, we've earned our customers' trust as a reliable business partner dedicated to improving their bottom line. It's no wonder they continue to depend on Detroit to keep them safe and efficient on the road. When you demand it all, demand Detroit.
Check out MRN.com for a new podcast series called The Tough Trucks of NASCAR. 25 years and still trucking. We'll take you back to some great races.
Benson to the bottom of the racetrack. This is the race for the lead and the win at Michigan.
And some wild moments.
One truck is in the air. Matt Crafton upside down.
And we'll let you hear the stories behind them.
He was too bullheaded to let me pass him, and I was too bullheaded to let him have it.
Download the show for free on iTunes and at MRN.com.
MRN Out Loud, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Woody Kane alongside Tyler Burnett, filling in for Joey Meyer, who's on special assignment. And as most of you know by now, the race on Sunday at Michigan International Speedway was postponed by rain. The Firekeepers Casino 400 will be at 5 o'clock Eastern Time on Monday, right here on the Motor Racing Network. And joining us now from Michigan, a Michigan native, Jeff Striegel, one of our anchors for the Motor Racing Network coverage. Jeff, is it drying out there yet?
Hi, Woody. Hi, Tyler.
Hi.
It is. I think we have seen the last of the rain, and I do think that it probably moved out of here a little bit quicker than what everybody thought it was going to. When I woke up this morning, it was probably a light mist outside. It was definitely wet. But as we get ready, ironically, to go to Outback Steakhouse for lunch,
there you go.
We are the entire Motor Racing Network crew. The sun is coming out, and I think we are going to be good to go from here on out. We'll get this thing in.
Now, do you put a steak in the tank before the broadcast today at Outback, or what do you go with?
Oh, here we go.
Do you go with the bloomin' onion or what?
You know, Tyler, that Outback Steakhouse is my favorite restaurant.
Yes.
Anywhere that we go. So if they have, and I got to be honest with you, I'm more of a dinner guy than a lunch guy at Outback. So if they have the Outback Special Sirloin, I'm going to have it. I will have my baked potato. I will have my broccoli. I will have a good time. What everybody else does, I don't know, but Tyler, I'm not opposed to it, that's for sure.
Why not? Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about what we might see in the race, Jeff, as we get ready to go forward. Track's going to be completely green. Some guys came in saying it might be something like what we saw at Kansas. Other guys said, I have no idea. We know the straightaway speeds are down. The corner speeds are up. Do we know much else beyond that yet?
No, I don't think we do. It's interesting, Woody, because we can ask a number of people what they think we're going to see. But depending on who we ask, we get a different answer. So I think that based on what I've seen, and that's all I can really go on, I think we are in for something better than Kansas, something just shy of what we might see at, say, a Daytona or a Talladega. In other words, and I've been saying this even before I saw the cars on the track, I think we are going to see today as good or better race at Michigan than we have seen in many, many years. So, for one, I am very excited to finally drop the green flag, get everybody out there so we can really see what we got. But I'll tell you what, I can't wait because I think it's going to be good.
I agree. The unpredictability of it is going to be fun.
That's what makes it fun, yeah.
To watch. Striegel, of course, this is his home track, so he's a little bit biased when talking about the Michigan International Speedway. Striegel, looking towards the back of the field, there are some heavy hitters coming from the back of the field. Martin Truex Jr., 16th. Kyle Busch, 15th. Olive Hendrick. Chase Elliott starts 17th. We have Kyle Larson, who at 1.14 straight at Michigan, starting 22nd. But then everyone seems to keep saying Kevin Harvick is one of the best, and Joey Logano up front. Who do you like today?
I like any of those four SHR Ford Mustangs. Eric Almirola was good on his 20-lap average. In fact, he was very good. He was number one. But right behind him was Suarez, was Boyer, was Harvick. So I think when you're looking for somebody to plant, maybe make a change in your NASCAR fantasy team, I think all you got to do is look at the SHR Ford Mustangs. There's no doubt that Joey's got speed and that Brad is going to be good if you're looking at Team Penske. I like him. I was surprised we didn't see more speed out of the Hendrick Chevrolets. Now, what happens in the race and in the draft, that remains to be seen. But I think if you had to pin me down, I might be looking at a dark horse today, and I'll tell you, the 41 car of Suarez might come to the top of the list.
I like it. I think he's been faster and faster every week.
Yeah, he has. And I had a chance to talk to him yesterday out at the Ford Hospitality. They had all of their employees in, and they always do it so well here, as all of the manufacturers do. But he was out there along with Int'l Ford, and it was a pleasure to talk to him. And you could see that in fact, I asked him, I said, how nice is it to go to bed on Friday night and Saturday night knowing that you have a car as good as what you do? And he said, man, I'm telling you, it's rare when you have a car as good as what I feel like we have right now. So, I thought it looked good. Okay, I'm just a guy observing, but when the driver says, I've got something that's rare, that's hard to find, that you don't get very often, I think that speaks volumes as to just how good they are.
Yeah, 8 Fords in the top 10, which is incredible. Daniel Suarez has won at Michigan before, actually beating Kyle Busch in the Xfinity Series.
I was there for
early
that race.
on
that
in
was
his career.
Yeah.
He is very good at Michigan. I like it. A Michigan native has never won at Michigan International Speedway.
That's hard for me to believe. I know it's true, but I just can't get over that. That's
Eric
hard for
Jones,
me to believe.
Brad Keselowski has a fast car today. Striegel, Ken, one of the Michigan natives, come through today, you think?
Yeah, I do. And, just a tip of the cap, Tyler, to you and everybody with the Motor Racing Network that does what you do. You guys created a package around that, Michigan natives not winning at Michigan International. You guys just do such an amazing job. And just a tip of the cap to you and Alexa and everybody else over there. Rich, everybody. Yes, I do. Absolutely, I do. Eric Jones was good, not great. Brad was, better than that for sure. It's crazy because Brad has made it very clear that winning at Michigan would be the biggest Cup win of his career. And if memory serves me, he has 30 prior. So this would be win number 31, and he claims it would be the biggest win of his career. I would like to see it because, I would like to see him win just so he can celebrate and see what that celebration looks like. The problem is I'd like to see a packed house at Michigan when he actually does that so that all of the Brad fans can celebrate with him on that day when it comes.
Certainly going to be a lot of fun. He's a two-time runner-up at Michigan as well, and definitely he's been good there in the past, but just hasn't quite been able to pay it off yet. 5 o'clock Eastern time for the Firekeepers Casino 400 from Michigan International Speedway on a Monday. Jeff Striegel has joined us from the track. Jeff, congratulations on making it through the weekend thus far, but you still got some work to do, and appreciate your time.
Yeah, what's crazy, Woody, is we're going to take the checkered flag probably about 8 o'clock, and then I am going to jump in my car and race myself over to Berlin because, Tyler, as you know, one of the biggest super late model races in the country is happening at my home short track. My cars are in it. I'm going to end up missing the entire thing. I'm either going to go over and celebrate with them or crying my beer with them, depending on how the race goes. So it is big here in the state of Michigan, west side, middle of the state, and, of course, Motor Racing Network with live coverage of the Firekeepers 400 coming up today at 5 o'clock. Can't wait, guys.
Yeah.
Good deal. Thanks for your time, Jeff. Have a good race today.
You bet. We'll talk to you guys soon.
There you go. Jeff Striegel, one of our anchors on the Motor Racing Network as we get set for the Firekeepers Casino 400, 5 o'clock Eastern time on a Monday from the Motor Racing Network at Michigan International Speedway. Another quick break here on MRN Out Loud. We'll be back to put a bow on it next.
G'day, America. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. That's right. Outback Delivery is here. Now you can enjoy all your Outback favourites anywhere. Our signature centre cut sirloin at home.
It's here.
Or game day party platters with Kookaburra wings that'll have both teams cheering.
It's here.
Or steak and lobster for a date night at home.
It's here.
Head over to Outback.com and place your orders because Outback Delivery is here. Outback Steakhouse. Aussie rules. Delivery availability varies. Delivery charge may apply.
On July 6th, gather your family and friends for summer's biggest celebration, the Coke Zero Sugar 400 at Daytona. Experience a weekend of excitement with racing under the lights and celebrate Independence Day with patriotic tributes and the region's largest fireworks display over the infield at Daytona. The Coke Zero Sugar 400 will be a celebration to remember. Adult tickets start at $49, kids $20. Lock in your seats at 1-800-PIT-SHOP or DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Winged Nation with Steve Post, Aaron Evernham, and Ashley Stremme. Your destination for all things winged sprint cars. Each Saturday at 8:30 and 11:30 a.m. on MAV TV. Live at noon on wingednation.com and Facebook Live. Join us for in-depth conversations with drivers and personalities that make up the greatest dirt racing on earth. The Winged Nation Preview Podcast each Thursday previews the upcoming weekend. Winged Nation, winged sprint car talk covering dirt tracks all across America.
MRN Out Loud, presented by Outback Steakhouse, coming at you as we get set for the Firekeepers Casino 400 from Michigan, 5 o'clock Eastern time on a Monday. Tyler Burnett is filling in for the special assignment bound Joey Meyer, who is apparently in the air as we're doing this show, headed toward Michigan International Speedway. But I know there were a couple of other big headlines from the weekend you wanted to make sure we touch on.
Well, speaking of Joey, Paul Menard dominated the Xfinity Series race, and Joey obviously is a spotter.
And did not get the win.
Yes, did not win the race, so that probably has to sting a little bit. But the Xfinity Series race, I can't get over how good Tyler Reddick is right now.
He is tearing it up, isn't he?
He is incredible, and Randall Burnett obviously needs credit for the call he made in the Xfinity Series. Taking fuel, taking fuel, I guess, coming down pit road, taking fuel, where Christopher Bell was told by Ratcliffe to come down to take fuel as well and missed hearing that, and Cole Custer followed him. So those two who probably had the fastest car all day, I would say Tyler Reddick was maybe a third-place car. But, I mean, listen, if you can save fuel.
It just goes to show you the fastest car doesn't always win.
He can't do no wrong right now. Yeah. I mean, he saves fuel. He drives the
Wait,
heck out of the
did you
race
just say
car.
he can't do no wrong? I got to bring the rock back and throw it at you after that.
Is that not the way to say it?
He can't do no wrong. I don't think
there's
that's
nothing
correct.
he can do wrong right,
All
now. He's
all right.
done
I
everything.
like that better. Yeah. But he is on fire. He's getting it done. And Richard Childress said, I believe over this past weekend, that he's going to put him in a couple of more cup races this year, even if he has to do it out of his own pocket.
That's intriguing to me because there's a lot of people saying that he, got fired from Junior Motorsports. He didn't. He left Junior Motorsports because of this reason. He's positioning himself at Richard Childress Racing to potentially make it to the Cup Series. I mean, the 31 car was racing with Richard Childress Racing last year with Ryan Newman. So they could potentially start a third car next year with Tyler Reddick, and he obviously is the guy they need.
The other big story comes out of the K&N series.
Yeah. Well, Haley Deegan won a race.
Again,
I think this is 3 wins in the K&N East Series for her.
And there was a little controversy at the end of this one.
It went viral. She
posted
ran over
a video,
her teammate.
She says he roughed her up a little bit before that, though.
I was kind of comparing it to other short track races we have seen in the Cup Series with Denny Hamlin, who I personally believe ran over Chase Elliott. I mean, if you go bumper to bumper and kind of move him out of the way, that's different than what she did, which was there was a gap under her teammate, which was Kraus, Derek Kraus. I felt like there was a gap. I mean, she shoved it in there. He came down. Felt like a racing deal to me, but she won the race. That's 3 wins for her now in the past 2 years. I feel like that's definitely a story to watch out for. Potentially could be in a truck series soon.
A good trajectory for Haley Deegan, if nothing else. Before we wrap up, you've got Rip the Fence coming up this week. What can folks look forward to on the show?
Yeah, so we are trying to get Logan Seavey on, who's a NASCAR name, drives for Toyota. You'll probably see him race again this year.
We've
at
seen him
Eldora.
at Eldora in the truck series,
Has raced with Kyle Busch Motorsports some. He just won the Indiana Midget Week title, so congratulations to him with Keith Kunz Motorsports. Want to give a shout-out to Tanner Thorson, who obviously has made some truck starts as well. He had a very, very bad traffic crash. He was driving his semi-hauler.
Recently, yeah.
I guess 3 months ago, somewhere around there, and we had him on Rip the Fence at that point. And I forget what episode it was. I didn't write that down. His muscle was hanging out of his leg. He had to climb out of his semi-hauler as it was on fire, and he won a race this weekend against some of the best. I mean, I don't think Carl Larson was in that race, but Larson raced all week. I mean, it was a big week for USAC, so we'll talk all about it.
Substantial. That's Rip the Fence right here on the Motor Racing Network. We got a lot coming up this week that you need to be aware of as well. As we mentioned, the Firekeepers Casino 400 comes your way 5 o'clock Eastern Time on Monday from Michigan International Speedway. Every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, NASCAR Live. A lot of great stories coming up on that show. This weekend, no Cup Series racing. However, the Trucks and Xfinity Series are both at Iowa Speedway. Truck Series comes your way on Friday, June 15th, I should say, at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, the Casey's General Store, the M&M's 200, and then the Xfinity race, June 16th, comes your way at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm Woody Kane, Tyler Burnett. We'll see you right next week here on MRN Out Loud.